to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lori Anne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you've always wanted and dreamed. Today on our show, and I hope you are having a wonderful week in this beautiful weather that we're having. Today on our show, we have the wonderful Christine Hart from the Hart Method. And I'm really looking forward to engaging in this conversation because she, like me, we love to lift people up and just see what their capabilities are and let them pursue their dreams and their vision. And we try to enable that. So I want to welcome you to the show, Christine. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Lori. It's so good to be back.
I'm so glad that you are. And I want to remind the listeners that you are a dynamic speaker and communicator, that you've been working as a teacher for over 25 years, and you're really passionate about teaching meditation and helping others discover their life's purpose. And you really have a unique approach, which I've always enjoyed, includes your sense of humor, and you really uplift your audiences, your students, wherever you are. You're just a beautiful, beautiful soul inside and out, and I just appreciate you so much.
Well, thank you.
So I want to talk about the Hart Method, and I know it's a 21-day guided meditation program, and it's a book that's coming out, and I'm so excited for you that you're following your dreams and putting that book out. I know we've spoken about this in the past, but I wanted to start because where we last left off, wow, that was tough today. Where we last left off was you started a chakra series. So help our listeners understand what your chakra series is and you know, what it does and how they can get involved.
Okay. So it's on my Facebook Live page, Christine Hart. Christine Gorman Hart. And it's also on my YouTube channel, Christine Hart. And I wanted to focus on each chakra and spend a 7-day exploration of it because the chakra is your internal system, your energies. And if you can unblock, balance, or heal them, your well-being will just manifest so much better in your outer world. So we're always working with the inner world. And I start with the root chakra because it's the foundation for everything. And it's located at the base of the spine by your tailbone. And the color is red, and red is vitality, strength. And the element is earth, so you would meditate outside. And if you needed a vibrational tone to calm and center you, you could chant Loam, Loam, and it just vibrates to that part of the body. And as best you could, you would want to put your attention there and picture red going through the body, healing, uplifting, grounding, because what's going on in society and in so many areas is a lot of fear-mongering, and to root down and to feel secure and to trust that you are being guided is one of the beautiful ways that chakras are available to us. We could clear each chakra from the bottom up. And I can't think of any better series to introduce at this time than a chakra series.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And we are having unnecessarily inundation with negativity and things to keep fear and keep us small. And we need to really shut down those TVs, stop listening to news, and stop listening to negative people, and really just look at what we can actually control. And when you do that, you will feel your whole body is a whole lot lighter. And starting with chanting of the Loam, it does really ground you, because your root chakra does just that. It roots you, it grounds you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that series is on your Facebook. Mm-hmm. And it's on YouTube, right? Your YouTube channel, as you indicated. So,
yes, and also I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. That's the beauty of having a radio conversation. So they can visit you that way, look at back episodes, if you will, and kind of come forward on that process, right?
Yes, definitely. And what I love about it is I was posting every day right when quarantine started, and I wanted to dedicate 7 days to one meditation, so you could really grow into the meditation, try it in different areas outside and just focus on that root. And then we can move up. We can move up to the sacral and the solar plexus.
Yeah, well, it's important, and it's funny. I'll refer back to your book, a 21-day guided meditation program. It takes 21 days to create a habit. So it's no shocker that you have a book that's 21 days guided meditation. And that program for 21 days, actually, if you follow it, you will create the habit. And it only takes 90 days to have a change in your lifestyle. So if you can continue to do that for 90 days, you just have to do the 21 days 3 times, and you already created a lifestyle change. And once you do that, it'll be strange not to meditate on a daily basis. I know that happened to me. It's just when I don't meditate on a day, it just, my whole day is entirely different than the days that I do meditate. So it's very important to me to start my days off that way. Do you find that too, Christine?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And this app called Breathe, I probably mentioned it
Oh, sure,
before.
yeah.
I tapped into the hypnotherapy. Now that's part of my repertoire. I want to become a trained hypnotherapist. That's how much it's changed. It'll change how I'm feeling physically. My back went out. I'll do a hypnotherapy, and it will alleviate the pain. It's incredible.
Sure. One of the methods that I teach when I am speaking in front of people, and it's part of my mentoring series, one-on-one series, as well as when I do group meetings via either Zoom or in person. And one of it is to show how we can heal our own bodies and how our body shows resistance. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to do. If you want to, you can catch my YouTube video on that presentation as well. But it does. You can heal your body and make it feel better. So, even with the Eastern and Western medicines, we actually can self-heal a lot more than we even really give ourselves credit for. And I know that's something that you've been doing a lot of, right, Christine?
Oh, yeah. It's just eye-opening, and that's probably why you and I are so similar.
Yeah.
We want to share it with everybody because you have the ability. You have the ability. You just got to tap into it.
Yeah, and it's very easy. There's nothing magical. It's really, It's about mindset, and we talk about that a lot here. Mindset really does matter. So, and to that, we have an opportunity during this process that we're going through in 2020. We have an opportunity here, and some people are grasping onto that opportunity, and I can tell that by the number of people I'm mentoring, that people are really reaching outside of themselves and pursuing their visions and their dreams. And I love that energy. It's such a great energy, and this is our opportunity to level up. Universe is telling us you have an opportunity to level up right now, so if you want, you can take it. And people are taking those leaps, and they're being given tools in order to take those leaps. And you have this program called The Grace of Failure. Why don't we talk about that? Because that connects up with our opportunity to level up and people's fear of failure and not seeing it as an opportunity to really learn. That's what failure is for. Unless we have contrast, we don't really understand what we want. Contrast is actually good. Some people refer to contrast as negative or bad things. I refer to it as contrast because all it is an opportunity to see what we don't want, right?
Absolutely. I love the quote by Samuel Beckett. It's a quick one. Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail better. That's why I love simple quotes because they speak volumes. Failure is the gift. It's the gift because, hey, I'm here again. I'm in this place of raw vulnerability. I'm hurting. Maybe I feel as if I did something wrong, or maybe this is just a major injustice. Doesn't matter. What you have to get into is, what can I learn from this experience? What can I feel through this experience to help me grow?
Yes.
And Pema Chodron wrote an amazing book, Fail Again, Fail Better. And she did this university speech based on it. And it's so right to the heart of it. Like, can you accept what is actually unfolding rather than what you wish was unfolding when the failure is striking you? And we've all failed.
Sure.
Every single one of us.
Sure.
And how we respond to it. What do we say? Do we use these words that are so horrible to ourselves? Because it starts with the language. I'm a loser. I'm old. What's the matter with me? Right there is when the awareness has to shine. And you say, hey, I'm hurting now. This is failure, and I'm hurting. And when you can kind of wrap yourself around that vulnerability, you can start to push yourself up and out and say, you know what? I am going to be failing. It is scary, but I still have to put myself out there, because not to do it, you're stagnant.
But what's success? What's success about putting yourself out there and getting out of your comfort zone? And we can't, when you take up a sport or you take up an instrument or you take up something for the first time, you're not going to be successful at it out of the gate. You have to practice and train. The same with learning how to really maximize failure. And one of the things is it takes a learning curve. So your learning curve may be 2 weeks, and you're using, like you said, Christine, maybe bad language to yourself, and just recognizing that and stopping that is a success. Recognizing that failure is okay. And to me, I've always asked myself, and this is what made my learning curve go a lot quicker, a lot shorter. So now I can flip on a dime when I catch myself doing it, is what am I supposed to learn here? So if I'm failing, or if something's negative, or I'm in a situation that's uncomfortable, or something that I'm not happy about or enjoying, I will sit there and go, okay, what am I supposed to learn here? Why is this person speaking the way that they are? What am I supposed to learn from it? And by doing so, we're taking something that might be deemed in the past as a failure to ourselves, and we're transforming it into a learning opportunity, which is total success, don't you think?
Absolutely. That's why I love leaping, because the net will appear.
Yes.
There's nothing more thrilling than leaping. You changed, and you're proud of yourself no matter the outcome.
Yeah.
You took the leap.
Yeah. And it takes courage, and it takes, it just takes courage to step out of yourself and do that leap. And it's a great thing. And if not for anything, even if no one else is around, that pride that you feel. I remember this story. It happened to me. I was learning how to ride my motorcycle. I had been on a smaller motorcycle because my larger one was just too powerful. And there's a lot of elements you have to put together in order to ride a motorcycle. And one is balancing and the weight of the bike. So my bike is about 600 pounds. And that was a lot when learning how to clutch and maneuver the bike at the same time to balance that weight. So I started on a lighter bike, but eventually someone who was teaching me said, you got to get on the bigger bike. You got to take that leap. So I took the leap. And not only did I take the leap, but then a week later, I was on the bike for 1 week. A week later, I took a trip up to Laconia, New Hampshire. Now I'm down in Long Island, and taking that trip, it was a 5-hour trip via motorcycle. And I wasn't sure how I was going to do this and if I could do this. And I thought to myself, okay. And it took me a week's time to talk myself out of not going. So, and what it was I was like, I can't go. I don't have enough road experience. That's an excuse. I took it off the board. What's the worst thing that could happen? I have to ship the bike home and find other transportation home. What's the worst that can happen? The bike breaks down. I can't do it. I ship it home and I have to take other transportation. So I kept taking my own excuses that I was developing in my own head and taking it off the table and saying, just try it. Well, long story short, I did go. I started the day out at 4:00 in the morning to meet the group down at a local meeting spot. And I started out extra early because I wasn't sure how long I was going to take to get there. And when I started, I sat at the end of my driveway for about, it seemed like 10 minutes. It probably wasn't that long, looking to the right and the left as if there were cars coming, and there wasn't a car in sight. But I was procrastinating. And then finally I was like, okay, let's just do this. And I started up and I went to the left, but I didn't actually go to the left. I crossed my street, went over the curb, went through some brush, came back over the curb, landed back on the street and went, okay, I'm still upright. Let's go. And from that point on, it was fantastic. I took the ride. I went up there. On the way back, I remember feeling so empowered and so proud of myself. It was just a silent win that maybe nobody else really recognized, but I did it. I did it because I could have stopped a million times. I could have not taken that leap, and that over the curb and back over the curb, it could have been, I'm done, and I could have gone right back in my garage and shut it down. And I was really proud of myself. And that's what I mean by taking an opportunity, getting out of your comfort zone, taking the excuses off the table, and just taking that leap, like you say, right?
Oh, yeah. And the 100% commitment is the key.
Yeah.
But you totally exuded that. And I actually know where Laconia is. My aunt used to live there, so I know how long that trip is. So that is amazing and good for you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they were out at the beginning going. There was a lot of tension. I had to get on a ferry. A ferry is in motion, right? So now I'm on this bike that you're balancing on two wheels. It's 600 pounds. And now I have to somehow navigate getting this bike on the ferry. I got to tell you, I tried everything in my power not to do that. I tried everything. I even tried to get one of the other guys to drive it on for me. And they were like, you got to learn how to do this. So suck it up, princess, and get on the boat. And I was like, okay. And that's exactly what I did. I drove it on, and I was so proud of myself. So those were little tiny wins as I went. And here's the other crazy thing. Here I'm going up to Laconia. You know how mountainous it is.
Yes.
I'd never stopped my motorcycle on a hill. And so before I went, how crazy is this? I watched YouTube videos. I watched the process because I'm about process. If I understand it intellectually, then I have no problem in execution, right? Typically. And so I was watching the process and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to have to learn and try while I'm up there. And there were just two things I didn't want to happen. I didn't want to have to turn my bike around in a very small radius. That's very difficult because the bike goes on an angle. And if you get the angle too far, it gets too heavy. And now you're not using, the weight of the bike actually works against you, right? So then it topples over and you have to kind of jump off the bike.
Okay.
So that was a little concern of mine. And the other one was stopping on a hill. I'm like, okay, let's not stop on the hill. Well, within a 5-minute period, both of them happened. I had to, I let everybody go ahead and I walked her around very carefully, slowly. And then I caught up with the group. And then sure enough, I go around the corner, boom. We get stopped at a light on a hill, and I mean an extreme hill. If anyone's ever been down to Port Jefferson, the hill out of Port Jefferson Village up the hill to Port Jeff Station is very, very steep. This was probably that steep, if not a little steeper. So now I'm listening to remembering, okay, YouTube. Luckily, two of the riders were behind me. They were holding the cars back. So I took all of that away because normally anxiety, oh my God, I'm getting other people upset, adds to the element of nervousness. So, and Don't get me wrong, I immediately had a cold sweat situation. I broke out into cold sweat, but I was sitting there and I was doing everything right and the nose went down and I had everything going, but my motorcycle wasn't moving forward and I couldn't figure it out. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, maybe if you took your foot off the brake, because you had the death foot on the brake, maybe you would go forward. So I tried that. I popped it. And it went like a bat out of hell, pardon my language. And it went down the street and it was all cool, but I did it. And that was the important part, is I did it and I didn't freak out. I was able to accomplish it. And so it's those little wins, but for me, they were huge at the time. And it's not like a million people have ever ridden motorcycles before, but I was really proud of myself because that was the first time I did it. And so
right.
This is an opportunity during this time to try something that's uncomfortable and take a little bit of a risk and to really go outside of yourself. And like we say all the time, you and I, Christine and I, are very similar in try it, give it a try. What's the worst thing that can happen? You go back to not doing it. So
right.
There are always options to changing back and going back to the old way. But if you never try a new way, you'll never know what that feels like, right?
Oh, yeah. You're reminding me of when I went back to stand-up comedy, and I did it in my 20s. I dabbled, and I went back to it when I turned 46, and I said, that's it. I'm committing to a year of comedy, and whatever happens on stage, but this is for me.
Yeah.
I need to do this. So getting back on stage was exhilarating and, of course, scary, but I had a blast, and I did it for a full year, and I've moved past it. Not to say I may never not go back on stage, but I prefer to be in the, and I hate to say role, I don't like labeling. I prefer to be doing what I'm doing right now, being hopefully an inspiration to other people to get out there, forget about fear, and just go for it.
Yeah, and you really are. I have questions coming in too that I want to talk to you about relative to the grace of failure. And also in the second half, I want to talk to you about the Heart Method, your new book that's coming out. I am Lori Anne Casdia. You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne, and we will be right back after a few messages. We are back, and you are listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. I am Lori Anne. If you have any questions or comments or ideas you'd like to hear more about, please let us know and email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com or follow us on social media at Healthy Lifestyle with LA. Love doing this live streaming. We're live streaming right now, and look forward to continuing doing that and hopefully having people back in our studio real soon. But today we're talking to the great, fabulous, wonderful, and my friend, Christine Hart of the Heart Method. Really someone who gets in front of someone and is so inspirational. She always inspires me. I always learn from Christine every time we have a conversation, and probably one among the gentlest souls I've met so far in my lifetime. So, Christine, thank you so much for being on with us.
Thank you.
So the grace of failure was something we were speaking about before our break. And one of the questions that came in from our YouTube Live is, why are we taught failure is so bad?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Yeah, isn't it though?
I think because the shame of it, the humiliation of it, the attempting something and being made to feel small, where it needed to be celebrated that you went out and you did something and you were brave. So I think it's just the mindset of parents, coaches, older people trying to protect the youth without allowing them to experience failure so they can be empowered by it.
Yeah, I agree with that so much.
It's just, I love speaking about failure because we've succeeded way more than we failed. But there is that when you get a bad grade, when you didn't make the team, you didn't get into the college of your choice, you're cloaked in that shame where it should be, hey, I'm really proud of you. You tried out for the team.
Right.
You put in your admissions to that college. You made the attempt. That's to be celebrated. So the teaching has to shift. I
think sometimes people think that if we celebrate just doing that, and I don't mean just in a bad way, celebrate applying, celebrate trying out, but not making it, that failure is something to be shameful of. And there's nothing shameful about trying. I've never, ever in my 36 years of helping people, I have never heard someone say, I'm so glad I never tried. I always hear, I'm glad I tried. And from that, you assess what value you can get from it. That's another opportunity for you to look at it and say, what am I supposed to learn here? Could I have done better? Is this for me? Just to make yourself better. Every experience we have in our lifetime adds to our toolbox of who we are today. So, when people play that game of, if you could change anything in your past, my answer has always been nothing. Because from every positive and contrast that I've experienced, it leads to who I am today. And I'm a much better person today than I ever was before with all the experiences that I've had. So would I have liked different experiences? Probably, if we want to make life very easy. But then easy is boring. Mm-hmm. And so
like that you said, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I like that we're both using the word opportunity, because the word unity is an opportunity. So we're united when we fail, because we've all experienced it. So it's a tremendous human and connective experience that we all share.
And can you imagine and I'm sure that there are leaders out there who, were brought up with the feeling that failure is bad. But can you imagine someone like a Hershey, had they stopped after the first failure, he he failed 3 times before his company was successful, Hershey Company. He had 3 other companies before Hershey, but he kept going forward. He kept learning from the experience and moving forward. And that's what we're supposed to do. Those experiences were giving him the tools he needed to be successful with the Hershey Company. And I use that example because that Jobs, Bill Gates, all of those people had failures to get to the place where they are successful. They didn't come out of the box successful. So we have to look at it. And you're right, Christine, we need to change our language to really look at it as opportunities that for us to either be better at it or learn what we're supposed to learn so we can take those tools and jump to the next level. So we need to be kinder to ourselves, needless to say, to other people.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's the cornerstone is how we treat ourselves. Everything starts with us. And how much more kind and compassionate are we when we see someone who made the attempt and they didn't make it?
Yeah, it's true. So they took the step. So, and I love it when you said, I remember on our last show that, you said to say mantras to yourself. I completely love and accept myself. I love that. And keeping it really simple, keeping things that you say to yourself very simple. And that's why I like, I always mess up the name on it. I'll come up with it before we finish. But Hopona, whereas
the Hawaiian thing.
Yes, I love that one. I say it all the time. I don't say the name of it all the time, obviously, because I just mangled it. But let's get into something that's more helpful for our listeners, which is the Heart Method, a 21-day guided meditation program. I was fortunate enough to start talking to you when you were thinking about doing this, and fortunate enough to kind of come along with your journey on the guided 21 days. And as I say on the show, it takes 21 days to create a habit. Look at what you're doing here. So the meditations that you put out there, how do you take them through, especially someone who's never meditated before? There's a lot of myths around meditation. So how do you take them through this process, Christine?
Well, one of the first things I want to share with people who are wary is that there's no wrong way to meditate.
Yes.
If some people just get so caught up in, well, I'm not doing it right. If you carved out 30 seconds or a minute to start and you stuck with it, that was a meditation. There's no such thing as a bad meditation.
Correct.
And what I share with my meditation is every day is a positive affirmation to just kind of start you off right. You are love. And then I'll give you a quick little synopsis of why you are love, and you'll go into your meditation. And every single day, the meditation starts the same. It's this morning ritual that worked for me, and I give so many different ways that you just pick what works for you.
Yes.
If you love all of it, go for it. If you just like the nostril test before you go into meditation, then you just do that. And that's simply closing your left nostril, breathing in and out before you get out of bed, and testing which one is clearer, because that's the foot you step out on, and that's how you start your day. So it's really practical and really simple, because meditation is really, really simple. It's not, you don't have to be a guru, you don't have to be a monk, you don't have to go off and live like a hermit. That's not necessary. You have all the tools you need. You were born with it.
Absolutely. It's all internal too. It is to get us to go internal and get us to quiet our minds. We have a lot of what I refer to white noise. That's all the voices in our heads with all the different things and responsibilities. It's to tune all of that out and quiet it down. And when you do, you feel sheer love and sheer joy. And that's what we're supposed to feel when we're here. Sheer love and sheer joy.
Yeah. And being in the moment. You know you're not in the moment when you start thinking about something else, and just gently bring yourself back. It's always just a gentle redirection, not, I'm so, whatever negative word you want to throw in there. No, you're human.
Yeah.
You're human. And you're having this spiritual experience in a physical body. So it's so incredible what meditation can do for us by simply allowing it to come into our lives in whatever shape it shows up. I like to meditate sitting. Sometimes I like to meditate walking or swimming or, yoga. You're in that zone.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and that's some of the purpose is to balance out your brain and to let it stop. Because while you're doing that, you're in the vortex. You're in there communicating to your highest self, which is the universe, your source, whoever you want to refer to it as. That's where you feel the love, and you're doing the right things. The universe always sends you signs, and I love the signs, and that's something, Christine, you taught me, the signs that you see, and they may be very modest and very little. It's not like a neon flashing sign. It could be, but most of the time it's not. But little signs like you have all green lights, in front of you, and you just don't get stopped at a red light. That's a sign that you're in the right direction, that things just come very easily. It shouldn't be difficult. When I'm mentoring clients and they're like, well, it's just coming too easily. Look at this happen, and then this happened, and this, and I was like, those are all signs and confirmations that you are on the right path, the path that you're supposed to be. If you feel like you're taking a round peg and trying to jam it into a square hole that I tried to do for so many years, you're not on the right path. It's a clear sign you're not on the right path, because it is very simple. It's very easy. It's very joyous, and you get surrounded by people who support you. Like you said, the net is always there. Yeah.
I think about how I wrote my book. I credit that to you.
Oh.
I came to you thinking I was going to start this business, which would probably happen anyway, but it ended up, no, I was meant to write the book, and you were an integral piece to that, because I said to you, oh my God, I'm with you because I'm supposed to write my book.
Yeah.
And it poured out of me. Yes, of course I had to go through, reread it and all that jazz, but like you're saying, it was effortless. And for someone who wanted to be an author since I was a kid, because everybody has at least one book in them,
yeah,
to finally I'm in the final stages. And the beautiful thing is I'm not attaching to outcome, because anything that comes from this now is gravy, because this was a huge accomplishment for me. And I truly, truly, truly thank you for being the person who just gave me that, I guess, permission to do it. You gave me the permission to start my mission, which was to write my book.
Oh,
so thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's so lovely. And you did all the work. I was just there supporting, and it did. I watched you it just poured out of you so naturally. You had all the tools. You've been doing the work for years, and it just came out so beautifully. And I love all the tweaks that you're making so that it is approachable for everyone. And I know that was one of your goals, is how do I make it so it's not putting anybody in the box or discouraging someone for doing meditation, because like you had said so aptly, it could be 30 seconds, but it's still 30 seconds more than you've ever meditated before. And it's 30 seconds more that you gave yourself time to be in the present completely and not bogged down with other thoughts. So I love that you have all different kinds of methods for every day, and that you inspire as you go through the book, and you are inspiring and a great, great speaker. And I love it when you speak, because it's from your soul. And sometimes I just feel like you're channeling other people when you're doing it, because the wisdom that comes out that's so germane to the people in the room that you're in is astonishing. It's just astonishing. So the Heart Method, I'm so excited. Do we have an ETA of when it's coming out?
I know that Wednesday I'm meeting with he is a formatter, an editor, so the finishing touches are happening Wednesday. So I'm thinking within the next, he's like, Chris, we can get this book out next week. I'm like, oh my God, don't even get me excited.
So exciting.
And I know. I'm like, this is awesome. And it's really kind of awesome too, because my friend is a professional photographer. She does book covers. So to have these personal touches be part of my book is just, it's humbling, because she's taking time to create a professional cover for me, which I'm really happy about. And I'm thinking within the next 2 weeks, it's going to be launched. Amazon. I'm using a self-publisher that Chris mentioned, Ingram Sparks.
Okay.
So he's well-versed in it. So he's taking care of that piece for me, which I appreciate because that is overwhelming. How do I even attempt self-publishing? So I'm glad that that's been taken off my plate.
Yeah, and the universe has delivered all these people into your life. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Who I meet next.
I point that out because people are like, I don't know how to do it. I was like, don't worry about it. Just do it. It's just an excuse. Take the excuse off your table. Well, I've never done it before. I don't have enough experiences. I've heard all of these excuses, and I don't mean them in a bad way. They're just ways for us to not do what we're supposed to do. And then eventually someone along the way, perhaps me in your case, just tapped you enough to push you over the top to allow you to give yourself permission to go. I signed that permission slip and you ran with it. And if you need a permission slip, just email me or text me. I'll be more than happy to give you a permission slip. Anybody out there who's listening who wants to do something that is goal oriented, that will make your heart sing, and it could be anything. It doesn't have to be what someone would deem a normal career, because there's no such thing. My son is a sommelier. That wasn't offered in college when I went. If it was, I probably would have been a sommelier. But, it's, I like to drink wine, so I figure why not get paid for it. But it's things like that. Opportunities are in front of us. So you just need to grab onto it. And you did. And I'm so proud of you, Christine, that you have this. And it's just like, it's on the cusp of just coming out. And I can't wait to see it. And thank you for your kind words. But again, you did all the work. I was just fortunate enough to be in your life to go on that part of your journey with you.
Well, you are you're being very humble, but I just have to say, even when I spoke with you last, you asked about the book. I've been dragging my feet about the publishing, and I go, that's another sign. So after our conversation, that's when all of this started. I said, that's it. This is it. It's going to be done by the summer. I'm done. So you did it again.
Look at you. Look at you. And you did it. You went on fire. You were like the next day you were taking care of this stuff and you just lit up. So something told me that that's what I needed to say. And perhaps that's why I'm in your life, just to give you those little nudges. But you did the running. You did all the work, and it's good. And it's a beautiful piece of work. When it comes out, I'm going to be so proud to have you back on the show so we can talk about it, give everybody access to it. Look for it. The Heart Method, a 21-day guided meditation program. It will be available on Amazon very shortly. It is unbelievable. If you've never done meditation before, if you've dabbled in it, you really want to take this trip. It's 21 days. Make that commitment to yourself. We talk about making habits all the time on this show. This will be a great habit. And look at that. 21 days takes to make a habit. And so this will help you along the way. And she gives you a lot of different options, and the meditations are beautiful. The quotations are beautiful. If it's the same book that I've seen before, everything is uplifting. And I don't know what the imagery looks like, but I know what you had talked about. So I'm just so excited to see it. I'm so excited that you've taken that leap. I'm so proud of you, beyond being proud. And what a great resource for people out there between your chakra series, the Grace of Failure, the Heart Method. You're just on fire, my girl. In the last couple of minutes, I'm going to ask you this. I know your why. Share your why, and also anything that you want to share with our listeners to help them engage and be inspired by you.
Well, I just invite them to treat every day like your birthday, the brand new day. Let the universe guide you. You're valuable, you're worthy, and trust that beautiful heart of yours. It knows exactly what you're supposed to be doing here.
Oh my gosh. Goosebumps, my girl. Goosebumps. And what's your why? Why do you do what you do?
It's my passion. People need to share their gifts and talents with the world. I just want people to embrace their unique talents, gifts, their curiosity, just unleash it on the world because we need it.
You know, that reminds me that you are one of my inspirators, because you inspired me to do some of the things that I'm doing right now. And you really pushed me over. And it sounds like, we're giving each other warm hugs on this show, but we are, because the truth is you're actually the inspiration behind some of the stuff that I'm doing, including the mentoring and the teachings that I'm doing. And I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for our friendship, and I'm grateful that you're available for people to really be inspired by. So if you you get a chance, please go to Christine Gorman Hart on Facebook and follow her live feeds. They're unbelievable. And also the official at Chris Hart is her Instagram. And then our YouTube channel is Christine Hart, Hart. So that's why this show is called The Hart Method. That's why the book is called The Hart Method. Keep it in the back of your mind because there's great heart behind the heart. So Christine, you are an inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. My heart is always lifted by sharing this time with you, sharing people, wonderful people and souls like Christine. I want to thank Christine for being on. Of course, our producer, Michael, who's outstanding. Love you. We are here, as you know, to serve one another. Take a moment, step out of your day, and do a little something for someone else. And also remember, create that habit. You have a 21-day habit. It only takes 21 days to build a habit, 90 days to create a new lifestyle. So let's do that. So thank you again for joining us on Healthy Lifestyle today. I am Lori Anne Casdia. Until next time, play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, and show up for you and show up big.